Conservative gains began early on election night. The party took Labrador, their first seat inside Newfoundland and Labrador since being shut out in 2008. The Tories also picked up 2 seats in New Brunswick, both from the Liberals. But what about in the traditional Tory heartland? Sasha Petrusik has a look at the Prairie provinces, which are mostly true blue.
As the cheering fades and the cleanup begins, many on the prairies finally have what they've been waiting for.
I think you really want to see a government that represents what you identify with.
Things like a smaller federal government, tax cuts, and Senate reform.
I hear, some croaking out east about, how bad, Conservatives are going to be, but maybe it's just about time they had a crack at it with majority.
The prairies have been the bedrock of support for Stephen Harper. In some ridings in Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba, 3 out of 4 voted for the Tories.
We've always been pretty staunch on our the way we look on things out here.
Since the Reform Party days, Harper himself has been known as a hard-nosed conservative. With a majority, many don't expect anything less.
He has an idea of the way things should be, and that hasn't changed a whole lot from day one.
Today, Harper said his riding and his region now have a very strong voice in Ottawa.
I think Western Canada can breathe a lot easier. There were a lot of policies being floated by the other parties, whether it's on, West Coast transportation or the energy sector, that simply did not reflect the needs and concerns of this part of the country.
Of course, this part of the country now shares the Conservative Party with a whole lot of voters in Ontario whose views may not always match. Not a problem, says Manitoba Conservative MP Vic Taves.
I don't see any problem integrating new Canadians with the now 5 or 6-year-old Conservative Party.
Ontarians with Manitobans or Albertans.
Ontarians are fairly conservative people.
And apparently, so is the large majority of voters on the prairies. In this sea of blue, there was only 1 tiny red dot and 3 orange ones. No orange crush here, not even in Saskatchewan, where the NDP traces its roots, but where not a single NDP candidate was elected. Sasha Petrusik, CBC News, Winnipeg.